Hey guys, Dr. Alex Ritzy here, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that is ankle sprains. Now, I'm not particularly interested in ankle sprains. I just like talking about them because whenever I see a practice member that's had one in the past, I always look like a rock star. Now, I don't want to sound conceited, but it is because ankle sprains are one of the more misunderstood issues for being such a common problem. So most ankle sprains are an inversion ankle sprain where the ATFL or the anterior talofibular ligament is damaged. It can be either partially or fully torn if it's a grade 3 injury. And one thing that a lot of practitioners and people miss is that if there is enough force entered into the body to stretch or tear a ligament, a lot of people don't understand that the nerves that run over top of, into, and beside that ligament are also going to be damaged. They are much more functional, much more sensitive to injury, those nerves, than are the ligaments, and it's almost impossible to sprain an ankle without damaging, injuring, or changing the function of these nerves, and there is a plethora of research to back this up. So let me give you a few examples. If somebody comes into our office and they've had an ankle sprain before, I don't even need to ask them what side it's on because there are often common changes that you can see up to a decade or 2 decades later. We've seen practice members where 15 years later, they still have changes in the way that their ankle functions because even though they might have rehabbed it properly, they didn't rehabilitate the way the nervous system functions in that ankle, and if you don't change the master controller of that ankle, it doesn't get better by itself in most cases. So what you're going to see to follow is our rehab prescription for our practice members that we give to make sure that they are moving and getting back to activity on that ankle as soon as possible. Now, a really important part for managing almost any ankle sprain is making sure again that that brain-body connection, the nervous system, the nerves in the ankle do their job properly again. So in our office, we manage that in 2 ways. We make sure that their spine is healthy, and we also make sure that the nerves on the side of the leg that are often damaged with an ankle sprain start functioning properly again, and for that we use electro or neuro acupuncture. Now, in my experience and through the research, I'm not quite sure if there's a way you can do this on your own. I only know that what we do, and it works really, really well. But the exercises are going to be really, really important. We know that we don't go with the RICE prescription anymore, which used to be rest, ice, compression, and elevate. Now we want to do the ice and compression and elevation, but we want to move as much as possible on an ankle sprain as early as possible in a pain-free range of motion. So that's where these exercises are going to be really good. You can start doing them the day or 2 after you have an ankle sprain, and that should help to rehabilitate it as much as possible. But if you have an ankle sprain that doesn't seem to be getting better by itself, or you've had chronic ankle problems for many years that just don't seem to be getting better by itself, it's probably because the nervous system that is responsible for controlling the ankle, sending signals down from the brain to power it on and back up to the brain to tell the body how it's actually moving, is probably not working properly. And that's where somebody like myself or some sort of good manual practitioner or hopefully neurostructural chiropractor in your neighborhood can help you. So I hope these exercises prove useful for you. I hope that they help you get back to full health with your ankle. But just remember that with ankle sprains, the nervous system is often damaged. It has to be rehabilitated and sometimes treated properly to get it back to full health. So if you're having this type of issue, send us a message. We can review your case, see if we might be helpful. And if you have any further questions, send us a note, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or email. I'd be happy to respond. Enjoy the exercises, guys. Hope your ankles start moving better soon, and we'll see you later.